Hello, good morning. This is a basic introductory demo regarding the LOX public network. So in this demo, we're going to give you brief information as to what is the LOX network, what are the integral components of this network, and how these things come into picture. So first of all, what is LOX network? LOX public network is a blockchain platform to deploy contracts using Rust. On top of it, we provide a LOX EVM Layer 2 solution which provides EVM compatibility to deploy contracts using Solidity. What is the consensus model of this public network? LOX public network follows the POS, proof of stake, consensus, with Nightshade sharding mechanism with vertical scaling. What are the different type of nodes associated with this network? These nodes include validator nodes, which take part in the validation process, RPC nodes, which take part in the communication, and archival nodes, which are used to store data for the blockchain. What are the different requirements to become a validator? In order to become a validating node, or a validator, one needs to be part of the consensus. In order to be part of the consensus, a person needs to provide the minimum spec that is the seeding price to be part of the consensus. These are the recommended hardware specifications to become a node, and these are the minimum specifications that we have specified to become a node. So let's dive into the different components of this network. So each node is having a LOX core defined inside this codebase. So what is this LOX core? LOX core is used to build and run a node. It's containing all the codebase to produce blocks. It also acts as a communication node, as it has all the sharding mechanisms, and each and everything associated with the node is inside this codebase. On top of this, how to communicate with this node using your terminal. We have provided a LOX CLI, which is nothing but a command line tool which takes into account the RPC communication that is needed to be created in between the node and your terminal. And how is it done? It is done using the LOX API.js. LOX API.js is nothing but a remote procedure calling mechanism API, which in turn will help us to perform operations on behalf of the node. Let's have a look at the LOX CLI and what all we can do with it. These are the features that are provided in the LOX CLI. These are all of the commands and what we can do using this. So first, we have the LOX create account, which is used to create account or sub-account based on whether you have a master account or not. LOX state. What it does is lock state with the account state. For example, if I go for LOX state, LOX 0. Okay, so we have not set up the testnet as of now. So let's move on with the local one that we've created. For that, we have to do export LOX env. Now the alignment has been set to local. So let's see what our validator does actually. So LOX validators current. So this is going to show us the current validators that are actually producing blocks for this epoch. So what is an epoch? Epoch is nothing but a time duration for which we have defined the validation process. So for us, right now, the epoch time is 12 hours, which can be changed based on the network requirement. So let's now, as you can see that all of these nodes are online and have produced the expected blocks. These are the seats that they have taken. They have all taken one seat. And these are the stakes, that is the stake they have provided. So let's go with LOX state LOX 0. So what this command will do is it will provide you with the account amount balance, the last block hash it has produced, the block height, and the amount it has locked. The lock amount is nothing but the staked amount for this account. Other features include LOX keys, what this will do for any account ID. LOX keys LOX 1. This will provide you with public key and the access information that this account is having. Other important features include the transaction status. Once you provide the transaction ID, it will provide you with the transaction status. This CLI tool can be used to deploy contracts and then deploy, calling different matters inside a contract, view state, and this can be used to send money from one account to another. For example, if I go for LOX send from LOX 0 to LOX 1, and let's send an amount of So you can see that this amount has been sent and this is the transaction ID. Let's copy this transaction ID. LOCKSS transaction status, and this will ask us to provide the account ID. So what is required? In order to see the transaction, you have to provide the LOCKSS transaction status, the hash, and it will also require the account associated with this node. So it is asking us to provide the account ID flag. So let's provide the account ID flag. And now we can see the transaction is success, and all of the necessary information is on there. So let's view the account balance. So we can see that this much there's been a difference in the account balance and the amount has been debited from this account and will be credited to the second account. The other features for the LOCKSS CLI include cleaning and stake. You can log in if you already have registered with the wallet. You can provide the credentials and you can log in. And there are many tags associated which helps us to customize the commands that we have provided. Like we just saw this account ID tag being used. A few other components of this network are, we also have an indexer node. What is an indexer node? It is an archival node. So what that will do is it will store all of the necessary information in the form of PostgreSQL. So let's have a look at that. So we have a LOCKSSDB inside this Postgre database. Let's connect with this database. These are all of the databases that are actually being created. So what is actually happening inside this network is the archival node is in constant communication with the other nodes and provides adding data to this constantly. So you can also see the transaction, for example. So you can see that these are all of the transactions that are happening to this network right now. And what this will do is this database can be used as an input for the Explorer. In order to run a node, all we need to do is clone the repository. That is the LOCKSS core repository. Make it binary and import the config and the Genesis file based on whether your validator is a local net or a test net or a main net. Once that is done, you use the LOCKSS daemon to run this node. What you will see once while running this node is, this is something that you will see. It will show the number of validators as we see, the peers associated with this node, and the current block height. For us, it is 294,599. You can see the LOCKSS validators for this current epoch and the next epoch. And these are the command line instructions to install the LOCKSS CLI. Thank you.